The revolutionary act of choosing yourself. I had the privilege of interviewing Tracey Stephens recently, and what she shared left me transformed. Tracey isn't just a thought leader, she's a force of nature who has sparked a quiet revolution among Black professionals. Her wisdom on self care, boundaries, and healing doesn't merely inspire, it liberates. Her courage in speaking truth to power has created pathways for countless others to reclaim their wholeness in spaces that were never designed for their fullness. Today, I'm honored to share these revelations with you because what Tracy has discovered might just change your life too. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you simply stopped? Stopped overextending, stopped performing, stopped shrinking yourself to fit into space never designed for your fullness? What if choosing yourself wasn't selfish at all, but the most revolutionary act you could commit? I remember sitting across from Tracy as she spoke about this radical idea. Her eyes lit up when she said, every time you prioritize your healing and well being, especially as a Black professional or entrepreneur, you challenge systems that expect you to shrink, overextend, or betray yourself for acceptance. That hit me right in the chest because we've all been there, haven't we? That moment when you realize you've been contorting yourself into impossible shapes just to belong somewhere that never truly wanted all of you. But here's what Tracy helped me understand: the world doesn't change when we keep playing by its broken rules. The world changes when we dare to create new ones. Let me share something powerful that emerged from our conversation. Tracy identified three transformative truths that are changing lives across communities. First, choosing yourself is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Second, boundaries aren't just nice to have, they're necessary for survival and growth. And third, your healing creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond you. These aren't just pretty words, they're battle tested truths backed by real stories of transformation. Consider Akua Rose, founder of Akua Rose Consulting LLC. After years in high pressure corporate environments where she felt invisible unless she assimilated, her words, not mine. Denying who you are just to survive? Akua chose herself by stepping away. Now, her consulting firm helps Black women heal and thrive through culturally competent coaching focused on mental health and holistic wellness. But the path wasn't easy. Black women entrepreneurs face unique barriers. 41% report feeling always on, 47% take fewer than 5 days off annually, and they constantly battle funding gaps and societal pressure to overperform. Akua's response? She developed programs centering rest as resistance. Imagine that. Rest as resistance. She encourages many breaks throughout busy days. She calls it soft launching summer. Promotes mindfulness practices like journaling, meditation, and yoga, and establishes strong boundaries around work life balance. The results speak volumes. Her clients report increased well being and reduced burnout symptoms. Her approach has visibly shifted norms around what success looks like for Black women in business. Her consulting firm has helped dozens reclaim their peace without sacrificing ambition. During Mental Health Awareness Month, she's featured as an advocate for healing out loud. But perhaps most importantly, her business inspires other Black professionals nationwide toward radical self care as a leadership practice. One woman's choice to prioritize herself created a movement. That's not an isolated case. Tracy pointed me toward another powerful trend: the great resignation among Black women professionals. In recent years, we've witnessed a visible exodus of Black women from corporate America. And contrary to what some might assume, this isn't primarily about money. It's about psychological and emotional stressors rooted in systemic racism, what some call the black ceiling, rather than simply financial factors. The challenges these women faced were relentless: persistent microaggressions, being underpaid and undervalued, facing double binds where neither silence nor speaking up leads to validation, and chronic emotional exhaustion pushing many toward crisis points. Their solution? Many chose themselves by walking away, leaving behind hostile work cultures despite fears about security and stability, to create businesses and environments aligned with their values. The outcome has been nothing short of remarkable. These bold exits have sparked new waves of entrepreneurship among Black women, with business ownership growing nearly 3 times faster than all other groups between 2019 and 2023. Those who left often cite improved mental health, even when starting over was daunting. Dr. Tracy Lofty explains how oppression forced adaptation at great personal cost until enough was finally enough, a collective turning point fueling today's soft life movement among young professionals. This movement is redefining what success means, not just surviving, but thriving authentically, and has inspired countless others through media coverage, blogs, and social campaigns. Again, we see how individual acts of choosing oneself foster collective change. Which brings me to the third powerful example Tracy shared: the embrace of soft life culture among young Black entrepreneurs. Young professionals are increasingly embracing what they call the soft life, prioritizing joy and rest over constant hustle culture. They face pressure from old norms valuing grind above all else, where blurred boundaries lead to exhaustion. Their solution? Drawing strict lines between work and personal life, integrating regular self care routines like meditation, yoga, and time in nature, and perhaps most radically, saying no without guilt. The outcomes are measurable. A December 2023 study in Frontiers in Psychology found improved happiness and life satisfaction, along with less emotional exhaustion, reported among those embracing these principles. Influencers like Nika Sole publicly share journeys moving from burnout toward intentional living via social media platforms. Growing online communities supporting soft life principles now connect thousands globally. This shift is changing cultural definitions of success within the broader community, inspiring healthier relationships with ambition and work life balance. Now, you might be thinking that sounds nice, but I can't just walk away from my responsibilities. And you're right. Revolution doesn't always mean dramatic exits. Sometimes it's about small daily acts of courage. As Tracy told me, every small act of choosing yourself chips away at systems built on self denial. Let that sink in for a moment. Every time you take a lunch break instead of working through it, every time you say, I need to think about it, instead of immediately saying yes, every time you prioritize sleep over one more email, you're engaging in a revolutionary act. Boundaries aren't just about saying no, they're about saying yes to yourself. They're about recognizing that your energy, time, and emotional labor are precious resources that deserve protection. Setting limits around these resources is an act of self respect that enables true transformation and protects your mental health. It's not selfish, it's survival. And here's where it gets really powerful. When you model radical self care and authenticity, by leaving toxic environments or refusing to perform at the expense of your wholeness, you empower others in your community to do the same. Your healing creates a ripple effect. I saw this truth reflected in Tracey's eyes as she shared these insights. The passion with which she spoke about these principles wasn't just professional, it was personal. She knows, as many of us do, that these aren't abstract concepts, they're lifelines for those drowning in expectations. So, what does this mean for you? What can you do differently tomorrow? Set one boundary, whether it's declining an extra task at work without guilt or carving out quiet time just for yourself, even if only 10 minutes a day, it matters. Start small. Maybe it's turning off email notifications after 7 p.m. Maybe it's scheduling a monthly massage and treating it with the same importance as a work meeting. Maybe it's simply allowing yourself to rest when you're tired instead of pushing through. Whatever it is, do it with intention. Do it knowing that you're not just caring for yourself, you're participating in a quiet revolution. I want you to leave this talk feeling seen, validated, hopeful, perhaps even relieved. I want you to feel empowered enough not just to believe you deserve more, but ready to choose yourself, even if it shakes up everything you've known before. The soft life isn't about being lazy or unambitious. It's about redefining success on your own terms. It's about recognizing that your worth isn't tied to your productivity. It's about understanding that rest isn't a reward for hard work, it's a prerequisite. As I stand here today, I challenge you to become a revolutionary, not by taking to the streets with signs and slogans, but by taking back your life with boundaries and self care. I challenge you to recognize that in a world built on exploitation, choosing yourself is an act of rebellion. Tomorrow, when you wake up, ask yourself, how can I choose myself today? Then do it. And the next day, do it again and again until choosing yourself becomes as natural as breathing. Because this revolution won't be televised. It will be lived one boundary, one act of self care, one moment of rest at a time. It will spread person to person like a whisper becoming a roar until systems that profit from our exhaustion have no choice but to change. The world is waiting for you to choose yourself, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Not because it's selfish, but because it's revolutionary. Your revolution begins now. Choose yourself. The rest of us are waiting to follow your lead. Thank you